And going. Oh, shit, I'm live. Well, as long as I'm live, let's just do this. All right, Thin Man, third take, episode 1. 3 cameras. Don's ready. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and there he is. Hey, gang, Jim Bowers, the Thin Man, back at you here for the first episode of our podcast here on Anchor and on Apple and on Google and wherever the hell you get your audio from. My name is Jim Bowers, formerly known as DEMUNSEED on the YouTube network, and there might be up to 30,000 people listening right now over on YouTube. So if you want to watch the behind-the-scenes version of this podcast, go on over to YouTube and just search either DEMUNSEED with a U or search for user Bowers, B-O-W-E-R-S 95713. That's the direct, boring-ass address to my YouTube channel. And there's about 400 videos over there, humorous and on an entirely different topic, but that's here and there. All right, first let me introduce you. Before I explain how this podcast goes down, let me introduce you to my good friend down in Los Angeles, Mr. Don Went. Say hello, Don.
Hey, hello, everybody, from now drying out from rainy Southern California.
Yep. So, hey, you guys that are, Alex, let me know that you can hear Don okay, because I want to make sure his audio is okay. And first, I'm going to explain how this podcast goes. It's called The All New Adventures of the Thin Man for a reason. I am 62, born on August 21st, the last day of the Leos. And I am a true blue Leo. Trust me, read my horoscope. It's probably got my name at the end. But I've always been kind of an adventurer, a dare. I don't know if any of you remember, there used to be a TV show on, and it was called Thrill Seekers. Well, I was actually a member of a group called Thrill Seekers, and the way it worked, if you wanted to be in the club, you came to a monthly meeting. Everybody wrote down some extreme sport that they always wanted to try, and they also wanted to see if they could get somebody else to chicken out and get booted from the club. Whatever sport or stunt or prank or whatever we pulled out of that hat, you either did it within that 30 days or you were out. And so in that Thrill Seekers Club, I have done some crazy ass shit. So here's how it's going to go down. I am going to tell you some different stories every week, some kind of off the wall adventure that I've taken part in. Don down there, he's heard a lot of these, and he can verify that a lot of them are, or all of them are actually true. But here's the twist. I am only going to tell you the truth 99.9% of the time. But 0.1% of the time, I am going to throw a whole load of absolute fictional pile of shit, bullshit, just make it up, imagination, but try to sell it to you. You just have to figure out what that bullshit is. When you do think you hear bullshit, you comment and let me know, or shoot me a message on Anchor or your podcast app. Let me know what it is. If you're correct, then you go on that prize wheel right there. That prize wheel currently has all of the topics that we can discuss. We're going to spin that wheel, and whatever it lands on, that's the topic for the night. So none of this is scripted. I have no freaking idea how I'm going to tell these stories. The first story I probably should tell you, though, you've probably seen this already, and you're going, why the hell do I want to listen to that fucking duck calling Okie? I don't have anything against you people from Oklahoma, except, every time I see you on the interwebs, you got 2 of these missing. Arkansas? No, it was Louisiana. South Dakota. L.A. Yeah. Don down there in Los Angeles, I call him my good friend, the terrorist. And if you do go over to the YouTube channel, take a look at Don because he's on camera too here. And so you can do it either way. Listen to the podcast while you're driving the freeway and you want to block out those little bastards in the back seat that keep, bitching because they want to go to freaking McDonald's and get some, 3-year-old fries. But yeah, so here's what we're going to do. Oh, by the way, the tooth, I lost this tooth and here we go. And I broke a rib by falling. I have this condition now called cerebellar atrophy with ataxia. So I had to reinvent myself. And this is what we did. We built this kick-ass studio in my garage. And this is where we're going to put out our weekly podcast. So let's get underway. All right, Don, do you know what all the categories are?
Yeah, we went over them before, but you might want to give the audience listening fill in on it.
I think we should. I'm going to get rid of these headphones because I don't think I really need them that much. All right, so here we go. We're going to go over here and spin the wheel. And first, I'm going to tell you what the different topics are. There are 14 different topics on the prize wheel. And each topic is an adventure or something that I have actually been involved in my life. So, like I said, the whole story is going to be true, but there's going to be a little tidbit here and there that I'm going to slide in there. If you think it's not true, call me on it. You're right or wrong. If you're right, you go on the prize wheel, and I'm going to show you or tell you about the prize that I'm going to give away that is well over $600 in value. Hold on a second. Okay, first, Don, here. Don, I want you to... Can you read those, Don?
Not really, so you go ahead and do the reading.
All right. Here's the topics that we can select from this evening. The talk that I'm going to give you is about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Here we go. The first topic is the Russians suck at hide and seek. Second topic, I was a playground terrorist. Then we have I shit on my boss's desk. And then we have in search of Eric Garcia, dead or alive. Then we have from fathead to fame. I know I sound like I'm kind of whistling here. When I blow smoke rings now, I can make heart shapes because of this missing tooth in the front. But it's going to get fixed. All you do is come up with about $18,000. All right, so next one is Sacramento, California's most insane white jockey underwear disc jockey. And then we have bucket list murder suspect. Check. And then we have burning down the world's largest clock. We have how to run away with a convicted Mormon. And then the last to fly a drone in Yosemite National Park. And then we have 500 Buddhas. And then codename Condor. Treading water in the Marianas Trench. And there you go. Now, we have one more category. Some of you may remember, those of you that have been with me 7 or 8 years over there on YouTube, you might remember that I did a video one time about Donald Trump. I was just really concerned for our democracy and decided to bring that up as a topic. 24 hours later, I had 600 fewer subscribers. So my wife and I discussed it and decided I will never talk politics again unless we land on the golden pie slice. There's one slice of pie on this wheel that is different from all the rest because it's a gold foil. And right in the middle of it, it just says Trump. What the hell is that? Don's down there in LA holding up his goddamn Donald Trump. What does that say? It's a coffee mug. What does it say?
The best part of waking up is Donald Trump is president.
Oh my God. How much did that cost you?
I don't know. I think it was like $16 from Peter at acesdeals.biz.
Oh my God. Well, they saw you coming. So anyway, if it lands on Trump, you better buckle up, buddy, because we're going to go there. Here we go. Spin of the wheel for tonight. And our topic will be, we're going to talk about how to run away with a convicted Mormon. This is a fun one. This is actually one of my favorite. So I think you're going to enjoy this a lot. Okay. Let's get there and get over here to Dawn. And voila. All right. Here we go. A lot of you guys have been one of my very good friends. And when I say very good friends, I mean it, because I have got some of the most loyal, dedicated listeners. I don't like to call you guys fans because I don't consider any of you a fan. You know, I'm just some guy with a stupid ass sense of humor. And I just grew my hair out. How do you like me now? Who is that sticks his head in the door and goes, how do you like me now? Somebody comment and tell me what movie that was from. All right, here we go. Tonight's topic. When I was about 13 years old, I came from a family of 4 kids, and I was definitely the black sheep in the family. And how I know that I was the black sheep in the family, I mean, everybody from my mother to my therapist to all my friends could verify that I was indeed the black sheep, because I had an older brother, Michael. He was 1 year older than me and the oldest, and he was very shy and reserved and quiet. Then there was me, the Leo fire monkey. That's my astrology sign, my element, and my Chinese astrology sign. So think about it. Mix that all together. A Leo fire monkey. I was a terror. I was creative and I was artsy, and I was always right on the edge of going to prison. Not because I never robbed a store or any of that. Well, not a store. It's a couple of paper machines that I can think of. But anyway, I was always a very adventurous kid. So my dad was really tough on me. After me, there was my sister. She was the girl of the family, the little, sweet little girl. She was the only girl in the family, so Dad treated her like a princess. Then there was my little brother, who was 5 years older than my sister. So he was the baby of the family. Obviously, he was a mistake. I mean, it's just fucking obvious. 5 years later, and, you know, somebody wasn't fucking protecting our best interests with a raincoat. Anyway, so so my dad singled me out as an absolute bum the whole time I was growing up. Now, my dad has passed away now, so I don't give a fuck. He's not going to hear this. I still love my dad. He kind of made me the man I am today. Guy sitting here with no tooth in the middle. But, you know, he physically and emotionally and verbally abused me on a regular fucking basis. You know, he drank a lot, but he only drank beer. But we were in the Air Force, so we bounced all around different states and all around the world and all that kind of stuff. So I got to see a lot of places when I was young. But when he got off work, when we were at Mesa Air Force Base in Sacramento, no, this was Davis Monthan in Tucson, Arizona. When he got off work at like 5 o'clock, he always stopped at third base before he'd go home. Third base was the local bar. And that's where he would have his Budweiser 8 to 12 of them. And he was a mean drunk. My buddy, Glenn, his dad was a nice drunk. And when I say nice, when his dad got hammered, his dad would go, "Hey, you boys, come on over here. I love you guys." And he'd give us a noogie. And then he'd go, why don't you go to the movies? Here's $20. Go see if you can get a girl to go with your ugly butts to the movie. Whatever. So Glenn had a nice dad, drunk. I had a chupacabra dad, drunk. And when my dad came home, and I knew he was coming home, because if he got up at 5 and it was 7:30 or 8 or 10 and he still wasn't home, and there was a DEFCON factor that I had to weigh in there. If he got home at 8, we were at DEFCON 2. If it was 9, then you move it up to DEFCON 3 because he's even drunker. If you get to DEFCON 4, it's 11:30 at night, and just call the emergency room. Just call 911 because you're going to go get your ass kicked when Dad gets home. And I'll give you one little example. One night, we lived in Honolulu, Hawaii. My dad was stationed at Hickam Air Force Base on Oahu. And, of course, he went out and got drunk a lot. I don't even drink to this day. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I love to fuck. Oh, back up there. That's not an addiction. Anyway, so one night he stayed out, he was getting drunk. So I knew, and I was at that age where I was getting my ass kicked the most. It's kind of on a sliding scale. When I was 8, I got spanked. When I was 13, I got beat with shovels and belts and coffee mugs that say Donald Trump on them. And no, I'm kidding. And you name it. If it was within his reach, he would throw it or hit me with it. You heard Eddie Murphy where his mom had that shoe and she'd go, "Oh!" She'd throw it like a boomerang. Well, my dad didn't have to throw it like a boomerang. He wielded it like, fucking Daryl on the Walking Dead. No, Michonne. Yeah, so one night I knew I was in trouble. It was really, really late. My dad was already mad at me for something. I think he got mad at me for blowing up the playground sandbox. Oh, different story. But it was about 10:30. So I'm looking everywhere in the house for anything that might set him off before I got in bed. Because it didn't matter. I could be in bed fast asleep. And if my dad was coming home with the intention to kick my ass, it didn't matter whether I was dead asleep or awake or on the top bunk in the back against the wall. He'd just reach up there, grab me by the jockey underwear and rip me off the top of the bed. Now, so I look all over the house when these things are going down to see if I can find anything, any little thing that's out of place that he can use to say, "Son of a bitch." Because if I hear that all the way at the other end of the house, then I just, say, "God, take me now." Either that or fucking blow that window out so I can run my ass off. But anyway, so I did the whole house. I get up in bed on the top bunk, all the way against those little windows that you crank and they fold open, those little window pane things. And I'm squashed up against them. I got the covers over me, and my brother, my sister, my little brother are all going, "Are you sure everything's good?" And I said, "It's as good as we're going to get it. So everybody just be quiet and act like you're asleep." Then we hear the front door open, and we hear him banging around coming through the front door. And so, I'm just counting down at this point. And so I hear him banging through the hallway, and he's mumbling, "Motherfucking son of a cock, fucking." And then I hear him come into the hallway, coming our way. And I'm thinking, he might just go into his bedroom. I don't hear him pissed off yet. And I hear him instead of going into his bathroom or his bedroom, he slams open the bathroom door and he goes into the bathroom. And I can just hear all this. I know what's happening out there. And I hear him go over to the sink and turn on the water. Water stops. I hear a little shuffling around. Where the fuck is the soap? I forgot to put soap on the soap dish. So my dad comes in the bedroom, reaches up on the top of the bunk bed, throws me across the room, and I hit the wall and I get down on the ground, and then he commences to kick my ass. And that was about the time when I was 13 years old. I decided, Mom, it's time for me to hit the bricks. Mom said, you're 13 fucking years. Well, she didn't say fuck. As a matter of fact, when she hears this podcast, she is going to kick my ass because I'm cussing a lot. But I promised her I wouldn't say fuck anymore. So I try not to say fuck or any of that fucking words, like fuck. I won't say that anymore. But anyway, so I decided to run away. And I tell my mom up front, Mom, I gotta go. And she's like, you can't run away. Don't worry. I'll protect you from your father and it'll be fine. And the last thing I wanted to do was to have my mom try to protect me but I didn't want to get her in the middle between Chupacabra and me because she's going to get hurt. And there were times when I had to step in between her and him because I thought he was going to hit her. So I'd get in the middle and take the fall. So I told my mom, I'm leaving, Mom. I've got to go. And she didn't really think I would do it. And so my buddy, Randy Grimsman, Randy was a 13, 14-year-old devout Mormon. Randy and I went to the church dances every Sunday. They were the Mormon church dances. And I had to wear a suit jacket and a tie. And, the only slow song that they would play is My Sweet Lord from the Beatles. So when My Sweet Lord came on, you better grab a hot-looking young lady because it's the only chance you're going to have to pull her boobs up against you. So, the Mormon church dances were a lot of fun. So Randy, he decides he's ready to run away too. So we make a plan. And one night at about 1 o'clock in the morning, after my dad had just thoroughly kicked my ass and my mom was hysterical because he was doing it, trying to get him stopped and all that sort of shit. Now, I do have to tell you, I'm only telling you this. I don't want you to feel sorry for me or say, oh, whatever. I don't give a shit anymore. That's all in the past. My dad has passed away, and, I don't fault him for it because he came from that generation where his dad kicked his ass, and I just had to put a stop to it when my children were born. So anyway, one night I decide I'm out of here. And left my mom a little note under my blankets, and I crawled out the window, and I told my little brother, you're the reason I'm running away, you little bastard. Because my little brother was always trying to keep up with me, but he was like 8 years younger. Here I'm 13 and he's 7, something like that. And he's trying to be a big shot. But anyway, so as a 13-year-old, I really resented my little brother who was always tagging along. And he wanted to go. And I said, you aren't going with me. Get your ass back inside. So I get on my bicycle. Now, my bicycle is a banana seat with a sissy bar in the back and ram handlebars. I don't know if any of you remember ram. They were like those, what do they call those, gorilla hangers? What do they call those, Don? The what?
I think ape hangers or gorilla hangers.
Yeah, ape hangers or something. Where the handlebars come way up, but mine came way up and then they curled around like ram's horns. And I bought that. My dad didn't buy me that bicycle. I bought that bicycle myself with my hard-earned lawn mowing money. And I had a good scam going. Not scam, but on a military base, all the houses are connected. So all of the yards are connected. So if I could get 8 houses to sign me up to mow their lawn every week, all I did was mow 1 fucking quarter-mile long lawn. Just go all the way down the block, turn around, come all the way back, put some more gas in it, go all the way down the block. So that's how I earned a living, and and made enough money to buy my bicycle and to run away forever. So, well, what I thought was going to be forever. So, where are we at, Don? Are you keeping up down there?
Yeah, we're keeping up.
You haven't heard any bullshit yet, right?
Nope, nothing yet.
All right, there we go. So, in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, I head across town, and this was in North Highlands by then. I was in North Highlands. My dad was stationed at McClellan Air Force Base, and this was in about 1968, thereabouts, 69, something like that. No, it had to be 67, 68. So in the middle of the night, I don't even have a light on my bike. I pedal my bike like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 miles from McClellan Air Force Base all the way over to like Citrus Heights. Now, when I was a kid, shit, I didn't know where Citrus Heights were, or, these suburbs of Sacramento. I just knew how to get to Randy's house, which is like a half a day's ride on a bicycle. So I finally get to Randy's neighborhood. I get to his neighborhood, and I'm cold, and I'm thinking, I don't know if this is a good idea, and I'm pedaling away, and my gears are slipping on my damn bike, and I'm starting to reevaluate. And all of a sudden, I hear this. I turn around, and leading this pack of about 5 dogs is this little fucking pissed off Chihuahua. I don't know if it was a Chihuahua or just a big rat that ran the local mafioso fucking pound squad. Yeah, these dogs took off, lit out after me down this street, and I am pedaling my ass off trying to outrun them. But my gears were slipping on my 10-speed ram handles, sissy bar, ape hanger fucking bicycle. So I didn't outrun these dogs. These dogs caught up with me and grabbed hold of this was the middle of the night, and it's dark. And I'm getting bit and jumped by a fucking pack of Purina dog chow loving fucking mutts that probably didn't have dog tags in it. They were fucking illegals. They were probably immigrants from Rancho Cordova. Anyway, yeah, they grabbed me, bit me on the legs, and I was screaming bloody fucking murder because I was terrified that I was going to get eaten by a big rat Chihuahua. It was going to divvy me up for the rest of the fucking gangster mob. So, yeah, they bit me and they chewed me up, and this guy turned on his fucking porch light and came out like, what the hell is going on here? And I'm screaming and all that. And he comes running out onto the street. By the time he gets to me, the dogs are all sort of splitting up, and he's kicking at them. And, and he finally got me up, and he goes, what the hell are you doing out here, kid? It's the middle of fucking night. And I said, I'm having a sleepover at my friend's, and I wanted to go home. And so I got on my bike, riding with it. I want to go home. So he said, well, you picked a hell of a time to flake out on your sleepover. Just get on home. So I get back on my bike, and I thank the guy and all that sort of shit for saving my life. And I head on down the street, and then there may be a half a block to Randy's house. All right, I get to Randy's house, and as per our plan that we had worked on, we had a manifesto that was 8 fucking pages long. And as per that manifesto, I was to arrive at Randy's bedroom window by 3 o'clock in the morning. That was the designated drop or pickup, whatever. And when I got to his bedroom window, he was supposed to be ready and open the window and climb out. And I get up to his window and I look inside and I see him. He's still in bed and he's got the covers over him. So I tap on the window. No response. So I tap on the window a little bit louder. No response. So I smack the window. And he jumps up out of that fucking bed and he is completely dressed with a backpack on, with his boots on, with a beanie on. He is set to go, man, under those covers. So he jumps out of bed, comes over to the window, opens the window, jumps out the window, and he goes, "We're doing this, right?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right, come on." He's all excited and ready to go. I'm worried as fuck. So we head on down the road. Now, any of you who've ever visited Northern California, if you know where Sacramento is, you'll know the distance and the journey that we took over a summer. This was a summer-long adventure of two 13-year-old boys living off the land and igloo coolers in the middle of the night at various campground camp spots. When we ran out of food, we just stop at a campground somewhere, wait till 2 o'clock in the morning, and then wearing our black ninja clothes, we'd sneak into that campground and just go trailer to trailer, opening up these igloo coolers. If they left them out there, they're fair game. So we'd pop, sometimes there were grocery bags full of shit, but we would open up these coolers and just pick and choose whatever we needed for groceries for the next week. So by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, we had our, shopping cart full of, groceries and, some good groceries like, Fruit Loops, nutritional stuff, and Pop-Tarts. So, yeah, and a couple of times we actually had a tent spot at the campground. So, we'd hit the sack, we'd wake up at, 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning, and there would be people walking all around pissed off that they were for fucking hijacked, pirated in the middle of the night. And, we heard shit like, because sometimes we'd like tip over the cooler and make it look like a bear or a raccoon or something, got this stuff. And some of these people bought it when we would do it that way. But then other people, they were pretty much onto us. Not us, but they just knew that somebody had vandalized their igloo. Yeah, I wonder why they never put padlocks on igloo coolers. They should. They should have back there in the 60s. Anyway, so that's what we did. We went from Sacramento, California, actually North Highlands, to first we went to Georgetown. I don't know if you know where Georgetown is. Georgetown is in the foothills of Northern California. And the distance between North Highlands and Georgetown is probably about, 60 miles, maybe 70, 80, somewhere in there. You Google it. Just MapQuest, North Highlands, Georgetown. That's how far we went, the first leg. Now, here's the problem, though. To get into Georgetown, you have to go from 2,500 foot elevation down to 1,000 foot elevation in one long, steep, winding grade. It's only one road in, one road out. And the road going into Georgetown was steep as fuck. And so we figured, well, we didn't have a map on us for one thing. So all we did was, well, if we're going to go to Texas, we need to go east. And Georgetown is east. So let's go there next. We didn't have no GPS or fucking Waze. if we wanted to figure out where the hell we were, we had to stop at a gas station and buy a damn map. And we didn't have cell phones. If I wanted to call my mom, I would have to stop at a payphone somewhere. And I wasn't about to do that. I wasn't ready to anyway. So heading down this grade, this very steep, probably 6 to 8% grade, if you know how grades work. And we're flying down this. Now remember, I'm on a 10 speed. Well, Randy was too, but I'm on a 10 speed from hell. So when we got to the top of the road, I figured my front brakes are not working right. So I have got to figure out a way to slow down going down that grade. So what I did was I went off into the woods a little bit and I found a long stick that was just good solid oak stick. Break it off, come back, and I take that. I'm sitting on my seat and I stick that stick in between the forks of my front tire. And then I rolled forward a little bit, but if I needed to slow down, I would just push up on that stick and it would leverage against the tire and it would slow me down, right? I figured, as long as I take it nice and easy, slow down that hill, I'll be fine. So let's go. We head out. We're cruising down this hill. And at first we were having a blast. Just for 3 miles, we're just gliding and sweeping, not putting a pedal to the metal, man. We're just floating back and forth and crisscrossing each other and going in and out of the white lines and making that zigzag and trying not to hit the white line while you're going down the road. We're having a ball. And then I got going a little bit too fast and I'm picking up speed. And I've got that stick in there and I'm starting to push up on that stick and I'm hammering the back brake. But when I was working on the brakes to try to make sure I was going to get enough stopping power, check this out. I adjusted the back brake pads on the back brakes. What I fucked up on was while I was adjusting them, I had flipped them over. In other words, they weren't the little bracket that holds the little rubber brake pads in only has a stop on the front side of it. So when you hit your brakes, that brake pad hits that little stop to keep it from popping out of that little bracket. Well, I turned it over on both sides. I had flipped the brake pads 180 degrees. So as soon as I got going too fast and I hit the brakes on the back brakes, those two little brake pads shot past me like a fucking 38 special. I had no more back brakes going down that hill. And so I'm starting to pick up speed. I get up to, I don't know, 125. I don't know how fast I was going, but I was scared to death. And I'm pushing on this stick, and I'm smoking that front tire because I have picked up so much speed. Now that stick is absolutely useless. If I push on it, it's going to slip off the tire. I'm going to put it through the spokes, and I'm going to be fucking roadkill going down that road. So I finally come to the realization that I have got to crash in order to save my own life. Now, I had two options. To my right is a cliff that drops all the way to the river. And in some places, there's just giant rocks over the edge. In other places, there's a big fucking tall pine tree to nail forehead first. So that didn't seem like a really good option. Second option was go left. Problem with that is it's straight in to the side of a uphill fucking wall. Think about it. When they make mountain road cutbacks, they cut the road right into it. So on your left, you've got a damn steep ass hill with rocks and all kinds of shit that they had cut out of that, roadway. And on the right, I've got a cliff. So I can either go skydiving on the right or do blunt force trauma on the left. Skydiving didn't sound very appealing. So I make a split-second decision to just, Randy, I'm going. And I cut the wheel left and I look to try to thread myself up the hill instead of hitting anything. And I did. I shot up the side of this hill, went about, I don't know, 2 stories, maybe 3 stories up before I hit a boulder. I don't know what it was. It was a big fucking rock. I hit this rock with the front of my tire. My bike collapses. The front wheel collapses. I'm going over the handlebars, and I snag my nuts on that bolt that holds the handlebars on. And I was in pain. Oh my God, did that hurt? I ripped open my testicle. Now, I'm not fucking 100% sure that that bolt that holds your handlebars on was what did it. All I knew was that I was fucking cut up, scarred up, but none of that mattered because my balls were bleeding. And I was in bad shape. I was in such bad shape. I felt like I had broken ribs at the time, and my balls were bleeding. And so Randy came to my rescue, and we stayed in that spot where I came to rest for almost 2 days because I couldn't move. I hurt that fucking much. And Randy was all like, well, should I just call your mom? Tell her to come in? It's like, no, I got to tell my mother my balls are bleeding. What are you kidding? My dad will fucking cut my dick off to finish the job. And because I knew that, while my mother understood, my dad was going to kill me if I ever went home again. So, yep, we sat there and I mended while Randy would run into town and get water or whatever. He'd go down to the river and get, fresh water, whatever, but I did not move. I couldn't move for almost 2 days. On the 3rd day, sun came up and I was just doubled over walking, but I could walk. So Randy decided that he knew he'd already been down to town, so he knew it was only another quarter mile or so down into Georgetown. So we leave my bike up there and with his bike, and I walked. I wasn't fucking getting on a goddamn bike. So we head on down into Georgetown. We get almost to town. We're a block away from the first gas station on the edge of town. We can see it, right? We're walking down. All of a sudden, this local sheriff pulls up, and he's got his lights on and his, on his little, PA system. And so, yep, we stop. Randy gets off his bike, and, we're like, yes, sir. How are you, sir? Yes, it's a nice day today, sir. What can we do for you, sir? And we're trying to be as polite as we can. And he goes, you know what? You two fit the description of somebody that robbed that fucking gas station about an hour and a half ago. Now, why don't you tell me where you put the money? We hadn't even been there yet. And already we've been fingered for freaking strong arm robbery or felony or whatever the hell they call it when you walk up and put a gun in a gas station attendant's face and take all the money out of their cash register. And this cop is telling us we fit the description. Now, what are the chances? One guy walking like he's got his fucking balls in his back pocket, and this white Mormon, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, freckled kid robbing a goddamn gas station. So, we told him, sir, you can search our bags and all that. And he goes, well, I'm going to have to take you into town. We're going to have, like, where are you boys from? Well, we're from North Highland, sir. What the hell are you doing all the way out here? Well, we're just on kind of a summer ride, and we decided to kind of cruise around a little bit. And he says, well, I'm going to have to call your mama. So he gets on his radio, and yeah, we got a couple of kids down here, and I've got a feeling they're probably run away, so I need to get a hold of their parents, see what's going on here. So, okay, you guys can stand here and wait. So we wait. Finally, he comes back, and he goes, well, can we patch her through? Yep. All of a sudden, I hear my mom's voice on a police radio. James, what are you doing? And then, Mom, I'm okay. They think I robbed a gas station. I don't rob gas stations. But so my mom is like talking to the cop, and she's saying, well, is there, do they have any money on them or anything? And he's like, no, ma'am, but are you sure you want these boys way out here, 73 miles from home, and we're just riding around, no parental, guardian, nothing, taking care of these boys? And she said, well, let me ask him. And she said, James Allen Bowers, you ready to come home? And I took the guy's microphone, I put it up there, and I said, no, Mama, I'm not ready to come home yet. And she said, well, let him go, sir. If he's not ready to come home, he doesn't have to come home. So that officer said, all right, you guys go. But didn't call fucking Randy's dad. Now, here's the twist. It's a damn good thing he didn't. Because 2 days prior to us getting to Georgetown, while I'm laying up there all fucking bent over, fucking bleeding from the nutsack, Randy discloses to me when he, holds out this handful of change that he's going to go down and buy some, Pop-Tarts with or whatever. And I look at these coins and I'm going, Randy, those are old coins. And Randy's going, yeah, I got them from my dad. What? He said, I stole them from my dad. I said, what do you mean you stole these old coins from your dad? And he said, oh shit, I got about 300 or 400 of them in here. It's my dad's coin collection. What? And I start looking at these coins, and he's got V nickels and Walking Liberty halves and dollars and all the silver V nickels and you name it. It's all old. He's even got silver certificates. And what else he had? He had what are those things? I don't remember, but he had his dad's entire coin collection. So he was a wanted felon, I'm sure. I don't think Randy's dad ever laid a hand on him, but this was going to be the exception. If his dad ever caught him or caught up with us. So anyway, that's one of the reasons Randy was so damn lucky that cop didn't call his dad, because I am sure, as a matter of fact, I know they were hunting for him. They had all points bulletin out there looking for their missing child. They didn't have Amber Alerts back then. I don't even think fucking Amber was born yet. So, nobody was out looking for us. Those were the days when your parents said, get the fuck out. I don't care. You could just get the fuck out. You couldn't call Child Protective Services and say, my mom kicked me out. They didn't give a shit either. So, yeah, I didn't have Child Protective Services to protect me from my dad. My dad was raising the kids the way kids should be raised. So anyway, so the cop decides he's going to let us go. And he goes, you boys, I don't think you need to be here in Georgetown very long. So you just get what you need and get on down the road. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir, we do. So we head on into Georgetown. And right next to that gas station was a general store. I mean, we're talking country fucking general store. Just like one proprietor with a white apron on, and he's got everything from bread and milk in glass jars to, Pepto-Bismol and then Wheaties all on the same shelf. So we go walking through that store and we're, we don't feel like buying anything healthy. We're buying junk with his dad's coin collection. And I finally come across a can of this new stuff that we had never heard of before. And it looked fucking cool and really fun, according to the picture on the box. This stuff was called Silly String. And we're looking at the box and they're spraying this fluorescent pink little rope string all over each other. So we're thinking to ourselves, oh, we got to get some Silly String. Let's get some Silly String. So we buy like 10 cans of the stuff. 6 blue, 6 fluorescent pink, 6 green. We got the whole rainbow of Silly String. So we stick it in our bag, and it was an honest purchase. We didn't steal anything. I mean, once in a while, because the sheriff was sitting out across the street, probably. But on any other given day, we would camp just outside of a town. We'd empty one backpack, like my backpack. Then we'd walk into a store, and I'd walk down the aisle while Randy was filling my backpack. So that was our caper. That's how we would stock up on groceries on these different stops where I didn't think you had any fucking money. So anyway, we buy all the Silly String. We head out the door, and we decided, well, we got to get back out of town. So there's only one road in, one road out. So we're going to go back the way we came. On the way back out, Randy says, I have really got to take a shit. Let me go over to this gas station, the one right there on the edge of town. I think it was actually a Sunoco. If I remember, it was a fucking Sunoco with a green fucking dinosaur on the sign. So anyway, whatever the green dinosaur was, that's what that gas station was in Georgetown, California in 1968. So we go over to the side of this gas station. Randy goes into the bathroom, and I'm standing outside, and I'm just, looking at the Silly String stuff. And Randy's got a bag of it with him too, in his what is it in the backpack? Don't fucking sweat it. But all of a sudden, I hear Randy. He flushes a toilet, but he's laughing his ass off when the toilet flushes. So I fucking swing the door open, and that bathroom was covered in Silly String. I mean, it's hanging from the mirrors and from the light switches. And then he had put his can in the palm of his hand, the spray nozzle, and then squirted it and made this giant fluorescent pink turd out of Silly String. And he takes this big pink turd and he floats it in the toilet. And that's what he busted up about, was someone's going to come in there and see this it looked like you were in a Costa Rican fucking nightclub decorated jungle. All these vines and shit hanging everywhere. It's like you walked into one of those rooms, hippie rooms with all the beads hanging down. Except in this case, it was fucking 6 cans of Silly String. So, while, I couldn't judge him, that's the kind of shit we did. We just had to get out of town before the fucking sheriff got into that bathroom. The gas station guy had already been fucking robbed. The poor guy's now got to pick fucking Silly String out of the toilet and out of the sink drain and even out of the sink faucet. We were taking... When Randy ran out of Silly String, I busted out my bag because now I am crying. I'm laughing so fucking hard. So I'm taking Silly String, shaking up that damn can and pointing it up inside of the water faucet in the sink. So the faucet's hanging out here. I stick the nozzle in there and I fill it with Silly String. And then you turn the water on. It doesn't come out. It doesn't come out. It doesn't come out. All of a sudden it goes. shoots all his soldiers. We are just fucking cracking up. I think it was the first time we just got hysterically fucking laughing and fucking crying. We're laughing so hard. So finally we settle down. We peek outside the door to make sure there's nobody out there like Bubba the cop. And we sneak out the door. We hop on Randy's bike. And I'm sitting on the center bar like a bitch. And we ride out of town. We end up walking back up the hill. And in that general store, we picked up a patch kit for my tire. And so we spent the night up there. We repaired my tire and pumped it up with our little air pump that fucking took forever, and we were back on the road. So we headed out. Now, you would think that this adventure was over, and somewhere in that adventure, there was a little tiny bit of fiction. Bullshit. Just plain BS. Which little tidbit do you think it was? Or maybe it wasn't there. Maybe it was here. We left Georgetown and we headed on up the road, moseyed on down the highway, rode those wagons into Auburn. From Georgetown, we cut across. First, we went from Georgetown to Cool, California. When we saw Cool, California on this map, we were like, fuck, we gotta go there. It's fucking cool. Why wouldn't you? So we moseyed on into Cool. And the first sign that we see on our way into Cool, which is just one long road up in the foothills, but it's just one plateau, one long stretch of a road. Then there's like 5 buildings and a long fucking road out. Oh, cool. There's a sign that just says, don't blink. So we cruised on into Cool. And all they had was a Pong machine. It was Pong, I think. It was a Pong machine. And so we sat and we probably put $30 worth of silver mercury dimes in that Pong machine and just sat there just fucking playing. Damn it! Let's go again. Playing Pong. I mean, imagine giving your 13-year-old kid in 2019 $1 worth of dimes and say, go play that Pong machine. I don't think you'd get a very good response. You'd be more like, you out of your fucking mind, old man. So anyway, we played Pong. We hit the road again. And by nightfall, we made it to Auburn. We were hauling ass because the road from Cool to Auburn, California is probably about 12 miles. But in the middle between Cool and Auburn, there is one hell of a road down to nowhere. There's a road from up at Cool that goes all the way down to the North Fork of the American River, down at the bottom. They call it the confluence. And at the confluence where the North American River, South American River, they come together and connect and head on down towards Sacramento. And back then, they didn't have the bridge that crossed the river that they do now. Back then, they had a bridge. They call it the No Hands Bridge. And it's just this old concrete fucking bridge that crosses the river. And so we managed to make it. Now, the grade on this goddamn fucking mountain fucking yokel fucking place on a map was steeper than the first one, except it wasn't straight down. It was switchbacks, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm like a fucking NASCAR driver trying to skid and drift around these corners because I'm no brakes on my ram handlebar sissy fucking ape hanging bicycle. I survived it. I get to the bottom. I crossed the No Hands Bridge which is still pretty famous to this day. People drowned off of it every fucking spring. Anyway, so we climb back up the other side, switchbacks, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We get into Auburn at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning when the little teenage hoodlums come out. So we get up there and we're tired and we just want to rest because we just climbed this fucking hill. So we want to rest and we want to go to sleep and get some fucking sleep. Rest, tired. So Randy says, well, let's just go into that laundromat right there. We'll put all of our clothes in the dryer. Then we can just sit there against the dryer while it's drying the clothes and it'll be nice and warm and we can just go to sleep in that laundromat right there because it was open all night. So I'm thinking, boy, that sounds good because we're fucking cold. It was in the middle of the night, and the thought of sitting up against a dryer sounded really cozy. So we go into this laundromat. We walk into this laundromat. Now, the first thing we did, because you always do this, don't you fucking kids have a brain? When you go into an arcade or a laundromat, or anywhere that's got a lot of coin-operated machines, you look under them because there's a shitload of change underneath those machines, especially laundry machines, because they've got that little tray that you put your 2 quarters in or whatever it was. I think it was only a quarter. I don't remember. And you put it in there and you go and you stick it in. Well, people always drop that shit. And then some of them get it back. Some of them, the quarter ends up going down in between the 2 dryers that are just whatever. They aren't getting their quarter back, nor do they even give a fuck about that quarter anymore until Butch Cassidy and his buddy Robert Redford. What was Butch Cassidy's buddy's name, Don?
Oh, hell if I can remember.
Oh, boy, what a stupid fucking answer. It was the Sundance Kid. Butch Cassidy. No, wait. Was Butch Cassidy Robert Redford or what's his name? Anyway, so we go into this laundromat. The first thing we do is we knock over all the washers and dryers. I mean, we didn't knock them over. We just reached to the back of them and pulled them over onto their front face, gently lying them all side by side down the middle of the laundromat, and then just reaping the reward. We, between the front of the laundry and the back of the laundry and the folding area, all that, we probably took in $13 in change. A fucking treasure chest. Shit, that money was going to keep us in groceries and candy bars and shit, zero bars for a week. So we collect up all this change. We flip a few of the, oops, sorry about that. I just hit you in the head of your speaker. But anyway, we flip these washers and dryers back up and put our laundry in the dryer. And what did he wash it? I don't even know if he fucking washed it. He must have washed it or he wouldn't need to dry it. Okay, he washed it. Or maybe he just rinsed them out in a sink. I remember one time he took a t-shirt, flushed the toilet about 8 times, and then stuck his t-shirt in the toilet and just while he rinsed out his t-shirt. Smelled fine. Didn't bother me, Didn't smell like shit. That's all I cared about. So I don't know. Okay, washed his damn clothes with no soap, I'm sure. And he puts all his clothes into the, and some of mine, puts it all into the dryer, hits the start, starts it up with all that free change we've got. And dryer's tumbling around. It's got the little window right in the front where you can watch your shit go around and around and around. And I know how hot those things get because I was trapped in one of those dryers one time. Whole different story. But while we're sitting there snuggling up against the dryer, feeling all this warm heat come off of it, it's nice and quiet in there. And we can, we're looking outside and it's pitch black, but there's the street light, and it goes green, stays green for about 20 minutes. And then some wandering fucking guy on his way to work at the local factory making bicycle wheels goes through, and first he has to wait for 10 minutes because the goddamn lights programmed to stay on for 20 minutes. But anyway, so we're just watching this traffic light, right? And Randy decides, I'm hungry. I am hungry. Don't we have any food? I said, we're going to have to go somewhere. We're going to have to stop somewhere after the sun comes up, get some food. Empty your backpack. I'll be the front man. And so Randy doesn't want to wait. He's starving. Now, over there by the front door, there's a couple of vending machines. And Randy gets up, walks over to the vending machines, looking down. There's a Zagnut, there's a Zero, there's a, what do you call that? Taffy shit. What's that? Yeah. And there was there were the old standards, the Mars bar, and the Mounds and the Almond Joys, and all that pretty much regular shit. The only thing you would never catch me dead buying out of a vending machine was a rice. What do they call those damn things? It's all
Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah, Rice Krispie treat. That's on my list, which is a whole different story. We'll discuss that again. But Randy decides, why pay for it when you can just kick in the glass and it's all going to be free? I didn't see it coming. But the next thing I know, the Sundance Kid puts a foot right through the front of that vending machine and shatters the front of that goddamn machine, and candy's flying everywhere because it's on that little corkscrew thing, where you seal the candy, and there's a little spiral wheel, and there's 15 Zagnuts in a row. And when you put your money in and push D1, it goes, and your Zagnut drops to the bottom, and you reach in, get your candy bar out, and be on your merry, honest way. Well, that was fucking the easy way. That was for people who work for a living. Randy kicks the front of that glass, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, what did you do? And he's just laughing, getting a fucking kick out of him, picking up like 80, 90, and all these little things are going. And so, yeah, he picked up a whole shitload of candy and then put it in the pack, and he came over, and I was giggling and laughing. I think I might have went over there and picked up some for him. Well, let's just say I didn't, in case the statute of limitations doesn't apply here. It's all him. He was the criminal. I was a Mormon. No, wait, he was the fucking Mormon. God damn it, I'm going to hell. Okay, so we're sitting there against the dryer, and we look across the street where this red light was on forever. And sitting behind that red light is a fucking cop, another sheriff's car sitting there at the light. So we sit down and we're going, how long do you think he's been there? I don't fucking know. The light's been red for fucking 20 minutes. He could have been there 15 minutes ago when you put your foot through the damn vending machine. Did you think to look outside to see if Johnny Law was flipping up his Ray-Bans going, what the fuck just happened? So, yeah, there's a cop sitting across the street. We're sitting there next to the dryer, and we're like putting the shit away and trying to tidy up because we're just going to head on out the door and be inconspicuous and all that shit. And before we could, the light turned green. Here he come. He just motored on into the laundromat parking lot, threw it in park, got on his bullhorn,
You two boys, come out of there, because we got, okay, come on out right now. Hands up, throw your backpack on the ground, just leave it there. Just leave it there. No, come on out there, get it on your knees right there, you motherfucker.
And then he calls the station. A bunch of other cops show up. And he says, yeah, I saw you. And he starts emptying out Randy's backpack. And he's got all these candy bars in there. And he's got nougat around the edges of his mouth. It was pretty incriminating. So, yeah, he busted us and put us in real handcuffs and put us in the back of his police car. And then we sat back there for probably half an hour while all these cops standing outside shooting the shit at 4:00 in the morning were, pretty much assessing the scene of the crime. Picking up candy bars, of course. I know goddamn well they were fucking eating them. Fucking double standard bullshit. Fucking pigs. And he gets back in the car and he says, your parents are on the way. You boys just sit here because I think you're in a world of fucking hurt when your daddy gets here. Now, I'm scared. I've been gone for 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks maybe. The whole summer. It was the summer of non-violent adventure. I don't know. But my dad was on his way. And my mom. And Randy's dad. With no change. No coin collection. He's probably hoping when he got there, Randy would say, oh, yeah, Dad, here's your coins. I didn't spend them. I didn't want them. Now they were gone. We spent fucking, 1962 silver $50 on Chicken stick. I love fucking chicken sticks. Those were so good. Yeah. So we sat there. And finally, like hour and a half, 2 hours later, my parents make it from Sacramento. Well, first they got to get the fuck out of bed because the cops are on the phone saying, yes, we've got your children here. And they've vandalized a laundromat and defaced it and broke equipment. And somebody's going to have to pay for it and all that crap. Just whatever they could tell my dad to thoroughly put him at DEFCON 4. He was on his way. Locked and fucking loaded. So we sat there. Fear of God. I know down deep in my heart that my time on this earth had come to an end. By the time my parents got there, I'd kind of come to terms with it because I knew it was going to fucking happen. I started out scared to fucking death. And an hour and a half later, I was like, just get it fucking over with. Let me just walk up to you. You put your belt around my neck, put the belt back through the buckle, pull on it as tight as you can, throw it over a branch, lift me off the ground, and then proceed to pummel my balls until they start bleeding again, or I'm dead. So, yeah, my parents showed up. About 20 minutes later, Randy's parents showed up. Now, like I said, Randy came from a Mormon family, religious, they were, I knew they were going to be upset, but he was going to get fucking grounded. That's all he was going to get, fucking grounded, and have to go to fucking Sunday school twice a weekend on, till fucking God comes back. And so they get out of the car. My dad walks up and he's talking to the officer. We're sitting in the fucking back seat of this car. So while we can see them out there talking and don't know what they're saying, but I'm pretty sure the cop was telling my dad that if he killed me, he would be acquitted. That this was a situation that would warrant not corporal punishment, but capital. Federal level, death row. So that's all the shit's going through my head. So the cop comes back. He opens the door and he says, "You boys should be going to jail, but I think there's a better sentence for both of you. I want you to get out of here and get in your fucking mama's car and get on home. If I ever see you here in Auburn again, you will be going to juvenile hall." So they didn't press any charges. My dad just had to chip in with Randy's dad or whatever the fuck. I mean, I told my parents, like, after I got out of ICU, that Randy's the one that kicked in the goddamn vending machine. But who the fuck's going to believe a 13-year-old runaway? So anyway, what are we on? Like hour 2 now, Don?
I think we might want to start consider wrapping.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun. We actually are coming to a close here. And you may have had to listen to this podcast, I don't know, over 3 sessions. So maybe I'll figure out a way to whittle it down in the future, or fuck it. Listen or don't. All right.
It's a full life story.
Exactly. This is the life and times of the Thin Man. So anyway, and I'll tell you how that all got started at another time. So my dad takes us home, and my mom is very, very quiet. And every time my dad starts to look over his shoulder, I'm sitting in the back seat of a Bonneville station wagon with those plastic bubble seats so that the upholstery doesn't get any shit stains on it from these fucking kids that are always fucking getting my car dirty type of car. Big ass station wagon. I'm sitting in not the back seat, but the back, way back seat. And, getting as far away from my dad's big fucking gorilla monkey arm reach as I could. And every so often, he'd be pissing and moaning and got me out of fucking bed. See, my dad was the kind of guy that when he was pissed off, he would do this under his breath thing. Fuck you, goddamn son of a bitch. Fucking pissed off now. I'm gonna fucking take you and fucking stick you with a goddamn fucking drive. Yeah, so he's doing this all the way home, and I know he is at fucking DEFCON 4, and he is just wanting to stop the car and throw me over that cliff that I avoided the first time around. But I could tell that my mother did something. I didn't know what, but she did something to save my life that night. My dad gave me fucking stink eye and fucking under his breath motherfucked me for the next fucking hour from Auburn back to North Highlands. And then I got there. I got out of the car. I walked toward the house. My mom says, "Get to bed. We'll talk about this in the morning." And I hugged my mom. My mom hugged me back. My dad just walked in the house. I went in, got undressed, got in bed. My little brother said, "Was it fun?" I said, "Get the fuck out of my room, you little bastard." That was the end of the story. There you go. All you got to do is, I hope you enjoyed that story. It went long. Maybe it was the meth. That was bullshit. I don't do meth or fucking none of that shit. I'm clean. I'm straight. Not to say that I haven't gotten pretty fucked up at Burning Man, but today wasn't one of those days. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed our first podcast. We may have to cut this thing all the way down to 2 hours. How long was it, Don? You know?
I lost track.
Don, wake up.
Yeah, I still lost track.
So what did you think about this one, Don? Did we?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did this did this story make the par? What are you thinking?
Definitely, except for I think we did run a bit long. We'll have to not get so.
I agree. We ran way too fucking long, but I was just having so much fun telling the story. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys get to bed. My good friend Don Went down in Los Angeles. I want to thank him for joining me here today. And want to thank our sponsors over at Satori Aerial, who make the co-pilot for your UAS radio gear. And Peter down there at acesdeals.net. It's got all kinds of sublimation equipment and printing stuff. You can build your own business printing fucking Trump t-shirts if you want. So hope you guys had a good night. Thank you for joining me here on the first premiere episode of the all-new Adventures of the Thin Man. If you got a comment, leave it down below. If you get lucky, you're going to be one of 14 finalists to win a prize. I'll tell you about it next time. Jim Bowers, the Thin Man. Don't forget to kiss that flabby ass wife ears. Don't forget, make it a wet one. Good night. We're out. Woohoo! That's a wrap. Hey guys, I haven't even ended the stream yet. Boy, this was long. I forgot all about the fact that you guys are sitting there watching it on YouTube. Hey, Jeff from Joyzy, and the podcast wrap, but I can shoot the shit a little bit now. Jeff, and it looks like Jeff is the only one up. We've got
everybody else probably it was too damn long to probably jump.
Yeah. It was long, wasn't it? Do you guys think it was way too long? I mean, obviously it was way too long, but did you guys out there on DEMUNSEED land find it entertaining enough to hold your attention? Or did it just get fucking boring? Or maybe you're all asleep now and there's nobody even listening to me anymore. Oh, Jeff from Joyce says, gonna say good night, bro. I love hearing you ramble. What the hell is in that vape pen? Catch you next time. And Sinclair has the green dinosaur. There's one a couple blocks away from me. And then Joseph Adams says the story is great. The imagery is on point, and even the time and places. Jeff said, why do I feel like I'm sitting in a smoke-filled dorm room 40 plus years ago, listening to the storyteller named Smoke, whatever that is. And then Yusuf says, Randy, hold this ice on my balls for me. And somebody else said, you guys sounded like Yogi and Boo Boo. And good morning, somebody just called me a flabby ass bastard. Yeah. And oh yeah, Kobo said, yep, they were called ape hangers. Oh, you left him to the beast. I want to hear the. Oh, Yoel wants to hear the sandbox story. Yeah.
That's. We land on it.
I hope we land on it, because I was a playground terrorist. And
that might still be within statute of limitations.
Yeah, I think that was. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the military has a statute of limitations. I mean,
they might.
This all happened. I don't want to give anything, no spoilers or anything, but this all happened on a military base. So, the OSI, there's some pretty mean motherfuckers when they come a-hunting for evidence. We'll tell that story as soon as we land on I was a playground terrorist. And so you're going to have to stick it out. But remember, if you can figure out where the bullshit was, and there were about 4 little tidbits of just pure fictional exaggeration in this story, not like a whole paragraph or anything, or a whole, adventure, just a little tiny sentence or two that I fluffed or, exaggerated something. So if you can name it, you're going to go on the prize wheel. As soon as we run out of those topics, I'm going to fill that prize wheel with 14 finalists. I think it's 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 14. I counted them once before. So 14 finalists are going to get a spin. So it's the first 14 people that figure out what the bullshit was. You can guess as many times as you want. I don't give a shit. But you do have to be a subscriber. If you ain't subscribed, I don't give a shit. I'm not giving you a $600 fucking drone just for stopping by and winning a drone and leaving it. So you got to be a subscriber. Subscribe, comment, get it right in the finals. We'll spin the wheel, and whoever gets it gets a Power Vision Power Egg. Now, this is no normal, regular, white fucking orb Power Egg. It's an actor. We used it in a movie. I was working on a feature film that I wrote called Conscious, and it was about an alien that crashes to Earth and befriends this teenage kid, and that alien is the Power Egg, and it looks like a fucking organic little thing that gets smarter and smarter, and it connects to the internet, and it becomes a smart-ass genius. Well, you get that Power Egg in full costume, makeup, monster attire. Still flies fine. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send you his stunt double. I've got a Power Egg stunt double that looks exactly like Wiki. Wiki is the drone. We call him Wiki because he learned everything from Wikipedia. And so that's what the kid calls him. But he's got a stunt double that we can fucking kickball and not hurt the drone. So you get them both. So you can freak out your wife and go, oh, fuck, I dropped it. That's what I did a lot of. All right, you guys have a good evening. Get your ass to bed. Jim Bowers and Don Went. Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
You guys have a good night. Don't forget, kiss that wife for me right on the face.
And make it a wet one.
See you next time.